This is Dumbed Down Life number 1.
This is Dumbed Down Life number 2.
This is Dumbed Down Life number 3.
You're listening to Dumbed Down Life number 4.
This is Dumbed Down Life number 4.
No, we're not going through all that lot again.
So how do you suggest we mark this momentous occasion?
This is Dumbed Down Life 100.
Who the hell was that?
I hear bored people.
Give me something to believe in. Give me something to
this is Dumbed Down Life number 100, and for one show only, we are joined by Dave and Caroline from the Bugcast.
Yes.
Hello.
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 For one show only, have you already decided that?
Well,
We're not
no,
being
but
invited back again.
Oh, that's not nice, is
well,
it?
that depends on how this one goes. Surely,
Oh, okay. Hello, Dave.
it's under review.
You're right, Darren. How's things?
Oh, not too bad, sir. Hello, Caroline.
Oh, hello.
Did we? I mean, it's quite late on a Sunday afternoon. I hope gave you plenty of chance to have your Sunday lie-in. Did we?
Dave had a
I have
lion.
I have the Sunday line. Caroline gets the brief Saturday line. So yeah, I'm good. I'm taken care of.
Good.
We have
'Cause
sort of abandoned our children and they haven't had anything to eat, so they've just got some biscuits and chocolate. But
Isn't that all you have to feed kids anyway?
And love.
well, one of them will do that. The other one's a bit fussy.
Yes. I don't want that. It's horrible. Oh, it looks all yucky. Yeah.
I won't have that biscuit because it's square rather than rectangular, even though it's the same chicken biscuit.
Can I just say, Dave, that is probably the best impression of Orville the Duck I've ever heard.
I wish I could fly way up to the sky, but I can't.
I ate that duck.
Eat that duck. Oh.
I think
Whatever
we're
happened to
showing
all
our
of
age
that?
here.
I think they're still going on. They're probably Butlins and...
Well, it wouldn't be at Pontins.
No, it wouldn't be.
Aren't they carrying on, though? They've gone into administration, aren't they, keeping them open?
Don't know.
I don't know.
The last I heard about Orville the Duck, he was going through some sort of legal battle with that guy that keep putting his hand up to his bottom.
That'd be Keith Harris.
That'll be the one. I knew the name, but just suddenly had a blank as soon as I started speaking.
Yes, it's never been quite the same since I found out the Nookie the bear. Why would you name a bear Nookie?
Because he could.
We had a
Yes.
game called Nookie, didn't we? Have we still got it?
Yeah, you got two kids.
Yes. Would you like to tell everybody where we bought that game from? No.
Pulse and Cocktails.
Was it an Ann Summers
I'm
one?
talking about it. No.
No, but a very similar.
Well,
retail
no.
establishment.
Pulse and Cocktails is a lot more extreme than Ansem as well. Actually, no, it's got
Sorry, did I have a
one
website?
side. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be the largest sex shop, as it were, in Europe, and it's based about 5-6 miles down the road.
I was going to post this show on the Bugcast. That ain't going to happen now.
But it's sort of got two sides to it. As you go in the shop, it's sort of an Ann Summer style shop, and then there's like a little walkway with like a curtain. As you go through that, it's far more extreme. And if you have the tendencies to blush, don't look at any of the TV screens, and don't go
if
too
you had
close
a-
to the blokes in Max.
If you had a
They're
tendency to
dodgy.
blush, you would not be setting foot inside the shop, let alone the back room.
The Blokes in Max. Sorry?
When we went after one of our anniversaries just to have a look, see what it was like, and there was a bloke, and you could not have got any more stereotypical. He had like the long Mac. He looked like he
Columbo.
would be a bit seedy, and he was with a young woman who looked very much like she didn't belong with him, and he was buying lots of things for her.
Sorry, where is
Did
this
he
shop?
have did he have a 70s porno star moustache?
Yes, he did.
Darren, it's you.
I remember that now, yeah.
But they had some very, very, very interesting things on sale.
Such as?
I was going to
You
say...
can't say
this-
something like that and just leave it.
This is the
Well-
this is the Bugcast now, you know. We want
They've
detail.
obviously got lots of toys for partners to use between each other, but they've also got lots of toys for people who haven't obviously got partners, because they had very realistic vagina style figures that had the
taking it back a bit, did you say they've got lots of stuffed toys for people
No.
to use between each other?
no.
Stuff
Nookie
and
Bear
They've
and
got lots of stuff and
sorry.
toys that were obviously aimed at couples, because there were bits for both people in the couples to use.
I was just
But
thinking
they've
for a
also
moment
got-
of anatomically correct teddy bears, and it's like, oh no, please.
Well, they had an anatomically correct vagina, which apparently supposedly had the same look and feel which was obviously for someone who didn't have a real one to play with.
Well, Christmas is coming up, and I'm short of a present or two. Do they have like a wish list like Amazon do? I'll go on and start.
Quite possibly. I do believe that there's more than one store, though. It's just that the one that we've got locally is like the biggest one, but there are other ones in the country.
Links in the show
Do
notes too.
They do get lots of coachloads of people just going to go and have a look.
Or like a pensioner's day out kind of thing.
Magical mystery tour. Who the hell thought of this idea?
And obviously they've got lots of things like bondage toys and then they sell all the little bits of stuff to make it more pleasurable. I'm glad this is an audio podcast, not a visual one. Because it's gonna be...
I was going to say, the temperature's gone up in here quite phenomenally.
I'm blending in with the table cover.
You need to explain that for people that realise this is an audio podcast.
Oh, sorry, the table cover is red.
Thank you.
It was an interesting place to go to, wasn't it, dear?
Yeah, so interesting. We went again. Ooh.
Yeah. It was very funny, though, because they say we give you things in discreet bags. And you'd think it would be like just like a brown paper bag, but no, it was like one of those party bags that are like glittery and foil and reflective.
Yeah, but at least it didn't have like 12-inch rubber cocks painted on it, you know?
No, but they had them in the store.
Well, it's good to know we've established the level of conversation for this episode of Dumb Down Life.
And that's
it.
without
Nothing
Doug
wrong.
being here.
There's nothing wrong with adults going to a store like that and having a good look around and maybe
Having a rummage.
We're going back to the man in the long Mac again, aren't we?
You know,
He was your stereotypical porn dudey thing.
porn dude.
Have you ever watched
And how
Boogie
would
Nights?
you know this?
Have you ever watched Boogie Nights?
Married one.
No.
No, I haven't.
Really rap dramatisation of the 70s porn era with Mark Wahlberg. And there's not
I've
much
heard- yeah, yeah.
nudity in it until the end, where he does a full frontal, but it's obviously a prosthetic. It wasn't him, it was an add-on to make it look like he was bigger than what he was. Which I think is more embarrassing than just not being as well endowed as he could be.
I must be too stuck up for something like that.
You're listening to Dumbed Down Life.
Have you got snow, Dave?
Yeah, but not since Friday
We've
night.
got ice.
We got it seems to have frozen now.
I had
we
to
started
scrape
doing
the car last night and it took a long time.
yes, we started in the Bugcast at about 9:20 as normal. By the time we'd finished, there was like 2 inches of snow on the ground.
No.
There wasn't
Really?
beforehand.
No, it was clear. I went to bed about 11:20. It was clear. I was just about to sleep and you woke me up to show me the snow.
Oh, okay.
So it was about
Sorry.
11 it started.
I know Nottingham's
domestic.
had it because I saw the photo Sam posted of Harry.
Right, yes. But it seems as though temperature-wise, we've got away with it because like people posting that it's like -9, -10, and it's like 2 degrees here at the moment.
Oh, it's
Sometimes we
minus
have to be
here.
nice, yeah.
What was it when we were in McDonald's, Darren? It's -4 or something, wasn't it?
Supposedly -4, but I don't
According
believe that for a
to
minute.
the car, or according to
According to the weather station information on the iPod.
right, a quality source then. Nice.
Absolutely, yeah.
If Apple says it, it must be true.
It's not Apple, though, is it?
It was on an Apple device. That's enough for me.
No Apple fanboy then, dear.
I'm no Apple
Blinded
fanboy.
by your hatred.
It's not hatred. It's is it what's the word? Is it quixoticism? I can't remember.
Oh, good.
Oh, it could be.
He did have a good play with an iPad.
Yeah, why not?
Did you hear what Caroline just said?
No.
I said he did have a good play with an iPad.
Did you? What do you think?
I'm actually quite impressed with it as far as quality of hardware and visual appearances. My only real gripe with it is the whole closeness of it.
It's Apple.
No, I don't have a problem with Apple. Apple in itself is not a not a problem. I don't consider Apple to be evil. I just think Apple could be a little bit more open.
But is the very fact that it's closed a bit in its favour because everything works?
Spoken like a true fanboy.
Nah, everything works.
Yes.
You turn
but
it on, you plug it in.
The reason
and
everything works is because of the hoops you have to go through to get your creations actually out there in the wild.
But
does
is that a
everything
bad
work?
thing?
Isn't it Apple that had the thing where you held it and it dropped signal? So surely
That's called the
Apple-
iPhone 4, yes.
Yeah, which I shall be getting in January.
And again, that's a hardware issue as opposed to a software issue. If you were running Ubuntu on an iPhone 4, it would still have that same technical issue.
Because it's
What?
a
It wasn't
hardware design.
AT&T getting their calculations wrong then?
Was it, or was it not? I thought it was.
It was.
No,
Apple
that's
tried
the
to blame
excuse they
AT&T.
came up with. Yeah, they came up with, oh no, the signal's fine. It's just that the algorithm's wrong, so it shows that you've got no rubbish, absolute tosh.
Going back to your question though, Lance, about whether you thought that, or whether I thought that it was a bad thing having it so closed, it does stifle creativity. It makes it very difficult for people to be able to create applications and just fire them out there in the wild and allow other
for them
iPhone users
not
to be able
to
to use
work.
them, because you can't install software outside of the App Store.
And you've got to buy a development thing, haven't you, to be able to make iPhone apps?
Yeah, and that is incredibly
In
expensive.
fairness, you do with Google as well.
Right.
You need
Another
an
big
SDK,
difference.
don't you?
Yeah, the Googleist SDK is free, so you can create apps and you can distribute apps yourself, which can then be installed on non-rooted Android phones that have the little ticky box that say allow installation of apps outside the market.
Right.
You have to pay, I think it's like €99 or something stupid for the European market, Android market, to then allow you to be able to publish to the Android market so that everybody can have it.
But is there a form of quality control of the applications to know that they're actually A, doing what they say they're doing, and B, doing it properly?
Google do go through some level of QC to make sure that the app is not malicious. It's not, well, it's very difficult to make the app malicious anyway, because the permissions that the application requires for the phone are very transparent at the point that you actually install the software.
Right.
So if the software is going to say this, if it's a media player, and one of the permissions that comes is this application is going to send text messages and mobile phone calls that will cost you money, and you're thinking to yourself, why on earth would a media player want to do that? I'm not going to install that. I'll go on to another one.
Yeah, fair play.
So it opens up the.
And that's assuming people read those messages, because a lot of people will just install things, it'll have a little, have a quick okay and carry on.
Yeah, but the burden of care has been moved. It's been shifted from Google to the user.
Which is such a dangerous thing.
Exactly, that is
it
my
is.
point. The burden of care on the Apple side is down to Apple, and you then trust them that the everything is right and proper. For
But then that limit-
non-technical people, see, bearing in mind, people such as yourself, you're quite technically minded. But a 13-year-old kid who goes out and gets an Android phone and starts willy-nilly in installing apps isn't necessarily as conscientious as you are.
Fair enough, I can accept that. But at the same time, not only are you limiting the availability of applications, because the majority of those people that are going to be able to write applications for the Apple iPhone, the iPad, and the iPod are going to charge for them, because they've had to fork out money themselves in order to be able to create. Sorry, did you get that funny noise?
The sniff.
No, that must have just been me then. Sorry, no, not me personally. Not me personally. Yeah, because they've had to fork out money to develop the application in the first place, which is why such a high proportion compared to other marketplaces. The Apple Store has more paid apps.
But the paid
But at the
apps are
same
like
ti-
59p, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's a lot of 59p's. I have 3 paid applications on my Android. One of them is a podcatcher, which the developer is exceptionally active on. One of them is can't remember now. I think
Twidroid.
yeah, one's Twidroid, which is a Twitter client, which it is closed, admittedly, but it is a very good piece of kit. But all the other applications, the stuff that I kind of use to run my life with, because that's what I use my phone for, they're all free. But if I had to find equivalents on Apple, I'm speaking theoretically, I don't know for a fact. But if I went to... Sorry, go on, Darren.
I use TweetDeck on my iPhone, which was free. I have an RSS aggregator, which was free. I have a Google Blogger application, which was free. I actually don't pay for very many apps at all. Nearly all of the ones I get are free.
So you're not a very demanding fellow then, obviously.
No. But this is the thing. For me, the iPod stroke iPhone, the whole Apple thing, is the perfect solution. I'm not necessarily an Apple fanboy. I like what they do. I like their stuff. But I don't want an iPad. I think they look cool. I think they look groovy, but I can't see a use for one.
That's this week. I mean, last week.
Yeah. No,
I can sit there in front of the television watching a film on an iPad. What?
If somebody bought me an iPad, I certainly wouldn't turn it down. But I could find uses for it. I could sit there on my sofa and watch TV or do this, that, and the other. But I don't think it's worth 500 quid to do so when I have other things in my room that will do the same thing that I already have.
But that's the price of Apple.
My iPhone, I like my iPhone because it does everything I want it to do, and this particular one I didn't pay for, to be fair, so there you go.
Here it comes.
It does everything I want it to do. I am locked into Apple with my music because of iTunes, because of the play counts and smart playlists that it does. And therefore, it's very easy to have an iPod to transfer it all onto and play with. I like one of the things I hate the most, Dave, is carrying loads of stuff, like a camera, a GPS unit, a phone, an MP3 player. The iPod is all of those. It's not a particularly great camera, but it serves the purposes that I want a camera for. I have a digital SLR. If I want to take really good photos, I'll be carrying that anyway. If I just want to take a snapshot, the camera on the phone is, completely serviceable for its use. I have everything all in one device. And yes, I could quite happily have a different device, be it a Windows 7 device or an Android device. But for me, Apple got their...
Windows 7, yeah.
Not Windows 7, please.
Have you seen them?
Yes.
I think they're quite nice.
Yeah, they are. I'm actually quite impressed with them, having used a Windows mobile phone for, 4.5 years.
Yeah, they finally got it right, haven't they? It's a big step forward.
It's a big step forward, but coming from well behind.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is the point. They're now sort of up to speed, so to speak, aren't they? Rather than doing anything different, they're kind of up with everybody else, where everybody else has been for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could happily use one of them. I could happily use an Android phone. I just happen to have an iPhone because it's my natural progression from having an iPod, using iTunes, and it didn't cost me anything.
Well, there in itself lies the reason why I can never have an iPhone, because I don't use Windows or Mac, and therefore I can't use iTunes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that, on the flip side, is the reason why I don't go over to Ubuntu. Because I do use iTunes, and I like iTunes. And why go to something else that physically stops me doing something I like doing? Just because I can, that. Again, like I've said, I have nothing against any other form of operating system. I don't want a Macintosh computer. I just happen to like that specific device.
I don't know. Caroline does, don't you? You want a Mac?
Yeah, more for the graphic side of things. But then again, Windows have got more open, more programs to make it easier anyway now.
You use the word open. I'm converting you, aren't I?
Well, I use OpenOffice and I use the GIMP and I use Inkscape and I use Paint.net and I use Notepad++. So yes,
Free software.
Use a heck of a lot of free software.
But you see, for me, for
But here's my
documentation,
point, Lance.
for documentation and stuff and all of that, I use Google Docs. It doesn't matter what machine I'm on.
Yes.
Is that because Apple don't have an equivalent?
No, I've no idea. I just I use PCs at home. I use PCs at work, and I'd like to have something that I can get to wherever I am. I can edit it on the iPhone. I can edit stuff at home. I can edit it at work without having to transfer and copy files away. And you know, it serves its purpose.
All right. So if you didn't get your iPhone for nothing, what would you currently be using?
The cheapest mobile phone I could lay my hands on because I can't afford any of the smartphones.
You've mentioned in the past, Dave, that you've had experience with hospital radio. Was that actually as a presenter or porter, or what was it you did?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hang on a minute. Yeah. Hospital radio. I had a friend of mine when I lived down in Aldershot. Had a radio show at Hospital Radio, and I think it was Radio Lion, which was at the Guildford, whatever the hospital was called in Guildford. I can't remember what it's called. Guildford Hospital.
Guildford General.
And I used to go with him most weekends, actually, for him to do his show. So I kind of picked up a lot of stuff in there. And although it was totally and utterly against the rules, I did actually man the controls a few times. I mean, this was many, many years ago. I mean, I say it's against...
Was this still CDs and cassettes sort of time, or did they have a computer?
Sonifex cartridge machines.
This was all CDs.
Yeah.
CDs and cartridge players. The jingles.
Were they Sonifex cartridge machines by any chance?
I have no idea at all. The profile of them was probably not that dissimilar to an 8-track.
Yep. Sonifex is a small company based in Irthlingborough, my hometown, and they are one of the largest producers of radio, cartridge and telephone equipment in the country.
Right.
Ooh.
Do people? I don't imagine people still use cartridges nowadays.
Not now. I guess they've moved into digital storage and digital playback machines and that kind of thing, but that was their speciality, radio presentation equipment.
The studios wouldn't have gone with digital storage, because nowadays I should imagine it's, please open this file that I've sent you, it's our new track. They don't even do the, here's a CD with our information on it, or here's our memory stick with our information on it. It's just, it's got to be a whole new world, really.
Secure transferred
Yeah.
digital file, I guess, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if they're still using CDs, but the first thing they do is just drop them into a jukebox, which then rips them and catalogues them into a library.
Absolutely, yep. And it shows them the how long the intro is, how long the outro is, when the guy stops singing, and if there's a pause in the middle, and they get all that information up on the screen.
Yeah.
So they know exactly when they can start talking and when they need to start fading it out and all that sort of stuff.
That sounds
Lance-
far too organised.
Yeah. Lance, have you visited Ben's brother? Because he's a DJ, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Well, funnily enough, going back to what we were talking about yesterday, when I used to be a scout leader, Greg was a DJ for... he still is a DJ for Connect FM, but Connect FM has grown massively since we went as a scout troop. And they were basically tacked on to the end of a college, Wellingborough Tresham College. And they were renting rooms, and they had their broadcast station in the college campus. And we would do trips over there to take the kids over so they could see a radio station and that. So, yeah, but again, that was pretty much before digital technology took off massively, and they were still using CDs.
Yeah.
But hopefully, when I get back into scouting, this is probably something that I could arrange again
To start doing again, yeah.
to do again, because I'm sure Greg would do it. That was weird. I got an echo. I heard the dog barking, actually physically heard it, and then it came through Skype. Wow.
That's the wrong way around. Surely sound travels slower than light, so it should have... Oh, I don't know.
Trust
Yeah,
me,
but don't
it's the way
forget
it
the dog is like meters away, whereas the actual Skype conversation is probably going around the world 3 times. So, yeah, going back to your original question, it wasn't a particularly hands-on presentery kind of involvement, but I picked up a lot of my hands-on stuff working with my dad in his AV studio around about the same time. But I mean, we're going back a fair few years now. I mean, this was I left Guildford in 91. No, 89. Sorry. So it would have been prior to that.
21 years.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I was hoping you would say that. Yeah, so this is Dumbed Down Life 100. How on earth have you made it this far?
Slowly, I think is the phrase.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, you've been going now. I mean, you started podcasting before I did, and in fact, it was you guys that prompted me to start podcasting.
I think our first show was December the 20 something or other, 2007.
2007.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
But,
I've actually got podcasts from 2006 where I tried my own podcast and it just never...
Oh, Another
never-
Wednesday.
Yep.
That was where you came from, wasn't it?
That was
And of course, you
where-
had
yeah.
your one as well, didn't you, Lance?
The short bald
short
one.
bald fat one.
Yep, that was it. It wasn't fat, it was just short and bald.
Yes.
I keep saying I never get round to it. My own one. Musical notes.
We've got about 3 or 4
Oh,
different
nice.
podcasts.
I like that idea.
Because I thought musical notes and you'd focus on a particular genre or location or band or something.
So a themed music show.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, and musical being M-O-O-zical.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
Absolutely. I like that idea. You really should do that, yes.
You're going to have to do it now, aren't you?
Yes.
So, yeah, so you're on 100, and, you know, I can't really let this event go past. I know you said you want to do it quietly, but there's no chance of that. As really kind of a thank you, really, for the 100 episodes that you have done so far. And also for being the inspiration, or part of the inspiration, that's caused me to start podcasting in the first place. Now, the first episode of the Bugcast was released in March of 2008, so only briefly after you'd started. But it was a combination of you guys and Mark with the Random 3, who seems to be on the indefinite hiatus at the moment. For some reason, he seems to think it's more important to raise a child than podcast, which I think is absolutely disgusting.
Fool.
Well, these people who try to raise children and do a podcast, they're just neglecting their children, and it's abhorrent. It really is terrible.
Well, no, that's exactly
our
what we're doing at the
children would
moment.
agree, but we've bribed them with chocolates.
But yeah, I find it quite amazing that I've actually stuck it out as long as I have, and even to the point where I've managed to overtake you guys in the numbering.
Absolutely. Yeah, when that happened, it was commented on.
Yes. And your show has got really good recently, because I joined in.
Yes, a year and it was over a year ago now. It's
Although,
August last year.
That's
technically,
been
I was
quite a long
always
time.
joining in.
Yeah, you were a
I
vision-
was the resident flasher.
Yeah, you were a visual help, weren't you?
visual help on an audio podcast.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
You did provide good images for those people that were listening. So I suppose really my question is, what's next for the Dumbed Down Life? I know you spoke about continuing the daily shows.
Yes, we are definitely back. Napod Pomo has really helped us get Well, get our shit together, basically. We've sorted ourselves out. We went through a real sort of low phase of technical issues, motivational issues, and worrying about the fact that, well, we've only got 10 listeners, is it worth doing, blah, blah, blah. And it all sort of conspired against us, and we effectively stopped doing it, but sort of half-heartedly kept talking about how we ought to do it. Napod Pomo came along, and we thought, I tell you what, let's do this. And we've managed to do it, unless something drastic goes wrong in the next 2 days. And we've kind of found the bug again, if you'll pardon the pun. We've sort of got it together, and we fully intend on keeping it as a nice and short 10, 15, 20 minute daily show. And that's
Not like this one, then.
not like this one, no.
Of course, the art. Sorry, go on.
You've all done really well doing your Napod film. Dave did his, and I filmed at NaNoWriMo.
How's that going?
I got about 26,000 words, and I haven't lost the plot or anything like that. I've just not had time to sit down and concentrate on it.
But will you carry on with it once it's over, or is it, I didn't do it in the month and that's it?
Story.
You are going to go ahead and finish the story.
Yes, and I've got about 7 other stories lined up to try as well.
Fantastic. So, yesterday, Darren and I spoke about how we're going to do, or thinking of something else to do in December every day, almost as a self-improvement thing, because this has obviously worked. Is that something you guys would consider doing?
Well, I was going to say... Oh, no, you're not even there. I was going to say that it's quite ironic that you, having spent so long not podcasting and then suddenly come back into it and thought, we're going to continue doing this on a daily basis. And me, having done a almost regular every single week for the last 2.5 years, and I'm not going to continue doing the daily shows. So, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do the odd special, because I think I've really enjoyed doing these out of sequence shows, and I know Caroline enjoys podcasting as well. So there's no reason why we couldn't do something like that on a more semi-regular but not quite so regular basis.
Chew fat, maybe.
Kind of like chew the fat, yeah.
Yeah, quite a few people have mentioned that in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, an extra show of indeterminate frequency rather than the bugcast every single day.
Yes.
I think you should. I think that would be really good.
Do you know when the concept of Chew the Fat was first announced?
Got to be about a year ago.
Yeah.
August 2009.
2001?
2009.
Yeah.
That's the domain name a year out.
2010.
So
that's over a year, isn't it?
Yeah. Year and 3 months ago, and we still haven't done anything about it. We've got a website. The website's up. But there's nothing to put on it yet.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's your challenge. Do it.
Definitely. But yeah, sort of going back to the original point, many congratulations for getting to the 100. And I don't mean that in a sarcastic manner, although there are some sarcastic overtones involved. It's a great achievement. And from somebody who has been inspired to start podcasting off the back of your work, it's really, I feel like I'm a part of what you guys do.
Absolutely, yeah. There was 3 of us, wasn't there, that we called the tripod.
No, it was 4 of us, because you were still doing
the short board. It was the quadrupod, wasn't it?
The quadrupod, yes.
Yeah, that was that weird drawing I did.
Yeah, Caroline even designed the logo for it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it. It must be around somewhere.
On the sleeve of your...
Oh, is it? Oh, right. The
little...
the podcast logo that Caroline drew for me.
I think.
The pencil drawn thing with me with headphones and the laptop under me. On my left shoulder is the Dumbed Down Life. Oh no, I think that's just a Dumbed Down Life logo.
Check it, because I can't remember.
Let's have a look. That is. No, that's just the Dumbed Down Life logo.
But
You've got too much hair in that picture now.
Yeah, I've lost a bit of hair since
And
then.
I'm not on there.
I told you to design a new logo.
I should do me a background flashing now.
The logo you've got on the current website, is that the one that Darren did? The 3D one?
Right, yeah. The logo that's being used as the slideshow art is 3D one, the rendering that Darren put together, based on the original logo, which is the one that Caroline put together, which is on the top left of the website.
Right, got you.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So this has been the Dumbed Down Life number 100, and if you could only hear what we went through to make this, and if this has actually been released before midnight on the 28th of November, it will be a miracle. Can I just say thank you to Dave and Caroline for joining us?
It has absolutely been our pleasure.
We've enjoyed
it's been
it.
so good.
And I would like to say thank you for Darren, if he's still with us.
I'm still here.
And all being well, we shall catch you tomorrow. Ta-ra!
See ya.
Bye. Strangle wank.
Was that a band that David Carradine could have been in?
Oh!
Oh, Michael
Hutchins is a lead singer, yeah? Oh, good God.
Too soon?
I love squashing balls.